go home with us. Pretty neat piece. Alright guys, so it's a few nights after the Hall of Fame show we did up there, the first show for this thing. We threw it down pretty good, then drove home late that night. The next morning we got up, had a display down in Kewanna, Indiana at a car show. It was a real hit there, and it was very, very muddy. So Daniel Van Lake, the one that got me into that, he washed it, and then I touched it up a little. It was still filthy for the show, but everybody loved it. It looked good, and yeah, I guess it was a big hit. I had to literally, I went to get it that afternoon, and kids were flocked around it. We had to get them back and everything, and they loved seeing it drive away. So basically, I've had some time to look back at the event. There were so many cool guys there, and you just can't take it all in and respond to it, especially being the first show. Obviously, your nerves are going crazy. Mine definitely were. Just trying to make sure everything's ready and not go out there and look like a fool. Everything worked awesome. There was a few things that obviously on the truck that we got to touch up on and whatever, but really for a first outing with the diesel in this thing, it did great. Got to meet some super cool guys. You get guys like Jim Kohler, Jamie Garner, Charlie Palkin. They all spent quite a bit of time with me, give me some insight. Really phenomenal guys. Any chance you get, go try to meet them. Just super, super cool. I mean, Scott Hess, Brian Kahn, everybody was super helpful at this event. It takes a big crew to put that show on, and those guys did an awesome job. There were some really sweet pictures that come out of it. This thing flying and whatever. It shot way up in the air, and there was a reason for it shooting up in the air. First of all, the driver didn't know how fast to hit things, so I just hit it fast. And second of all, my shocks weren't working. So it actually shot it up in the air, made it land really hard, but it took some awesome pictures. Other than the shocks needing severe attention for the next time, I'm gonna show you what I guess we broke up there. It wasn't life-threatening, but we did have a fuel leak at the end of the night. It still drove for the show, the car show the next day and everything. Basically what happened was, on our P pump here, our P7100, these delivery valve holders right here, they have O-rings around the bottom of them, and the O-ring blew out down in this holder right here. The O-ring on this #1 cylinder, well, it's actually #6. I'd consider it 1 because this thing's setting backwards, but it actually blew out, so it was shooting fuel out the whole time. I mean, sometime during the run in freestyles when it blew out. So it didn't cause a fire or anything. So tonight I finally got the injection lines off. I got this thing drug in. It's been a few days and haven't had a chance to look at it, but I pulled it in, took the injection lines off, and I'm putting new O-rings on the delivery valve holders, torque them. That should be golden. Another thing that happened was the radiator, it actually got a little warm doing donuts. If you watch the videos of it doing donuts, it kept going to overdrive on me. Bevy's tune, he changed it, but we didn't load it in the truck. Forgot about it, basically. So the first tune on the anteater transmission allowed it to go to overdrive, which it really shouldn't have. We really don't need overdrive on that first tune. And every time the RII hits and it kills power, it defaults that anteater to the first tune. So even if I set it on the second or third tune, it wouldn't have went back to the first one. I kept pulling it back down to second gear, RPMing the crap out of it, and it was learning. I mean, next time we're gonna make sure it just stays in third gear. It'll have plenty of power to do that. So anyhow, during that deal, it got warm. The engine still got warm. Does not make me happy, by the way. I would really like this thing to never get warm. It was only 230 degrees, but that's still warmer than I wanted. And I had a plug, kind of just a last minute deal when we were putting the radiators in on the back here of the radiator. There was a plug in this port right here. This top radiator hose, it's just basically plugged off. I just had a plug shoved down in this thing and clamped around it, this radiator hose. And it actually was facing away from everybody, thankfully, and it blew out when it was shut off, and it blew some steam off. Didn't hurt a thing at all, nothing got hurt. So I need to come up with a better plug for that. All in all, that show was awesome. It was a good place to debut it. a lot of old school guys were really good help, and I think they really liked it. The crowd loved the diesel. I signed a ton of autographs. Andy Hoffman, he's one of the guys that have been in the sport for a long time, and I try to take his advice to heart. He kind of told me how to hit some cars and everything, and that was super cool. I really value knowledge from these old school guys that yeah, have been there and done it. There's really no reason for me to reinvent the wheel when there's guys that can give you good advice, and if you're willing to learn, it's an awesome thing to have. Delivery valve holder is what that O-ring is on, and as you see, this O-ring, this is number one. This one wasn't even leaking, and when I took it out, look how tattered that O-ring. It's literally got things just hanging from it. It's crazy. There's a special green O-ring that holds up to the diesel fuel well. I called one of the diesel injection shops. They sent me a full set of them. I'm peeling that sucker off, gonna clean this up. I'm actually, for whatever the reason, this is goofy green paint on here. I don't know why they painted these green, the guy that had this engine before me, but I'm gonna put black paint on them just because the green's craziness. But clean it up, put new O-rings on them, stick them back in, should be good to go. It's 6 a.m. here, Saturday morning. Got up bright and early. Got the monster truck here. There's a car show uptown today. We're supposed to take this monster truck and this missing link Jeep up there to the car show. They wanted it up there last night, but it was rainy, it was muddy, and it was gonna sling mud all down the side of both things getting them up there. So not gonna do that. Gonna drive them up there early this morning. I'll try to take you guys for a ride with me in the monster truck at least. So it's raining this morning, so we're gonna drive through the streets of Rochester. It'll be interesting. All right, so we're up here, courthouse, Rochester. It's pretty fun, minus it raining. So now Brody's got a lot of wiping off to do. So as you can see, brought the Outlaw up here for the chili cook-off in Rochester early this morning. It was raining, everything was nasty. That's usually how it works. So I just got done wiping this big thing off. I think it looks all right. Still a little dirty, but. Brought Link's Jeep up here. Got his motorcycle. Got the old missing link. So all that stuff is in one spot, or it used to be his. And the Outlaw's sitting there. Hopefully the kids enjoy it. It is a busy day. I think there's over 600 vehicles up here. We got Link Townsend and his dad up here with the rigs. Glad you can make it, Link.
Well, thank you.
Good to see you.
Good seeing you.
Need to have your grandson.
We got the missing link in the background. What year did you put that together? Do you remember?
90, I believe.
90? Really? Well, it looked good back then, so.
Well, I think it looks good now.
Well, thank you. Glad you could make it up to be by it again. So.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know how many more times I'll get this come up and be by it.
I don't know either, but I hope you keep coming up here.
Yeah.
As many as you can. behind me here is a 71 Dodge swept line long bed truck, 2-wheel drive. This thing's all original. I think he's just spruced it up. This guy come and saw me. He's from about 20 miles north of us. This thing is really cool to see a real truck like our monster truck body here. So the fellow that owned this, like I said, come and found me, showed me a picture of it earlier, so I had to come down and check it out. Basically, I asked him if he'd be interested in getting this with the monster truck sometime and doing a photo shoot or a video or something. He said yeah. So if you guys keep watching, you just may see that someday. That'd be pretty cool.